This is the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, presented by RC Willey. Your home, your way.
Good evening. Welcome inside the RebZone. Kevin Bollinger alongside UNLV head football coach Tony Sanchez coming to you this week from Spartan Stadium in San Jose after a frustrating loss for UNLV. I know that the expectations were high coming in, but one of those things where it seemed like in the second half it was just an uphill battle.
Yeah, it's obviously being fresh, just finishing the game, and shooting right now, so it's a tough pill to swallow. At times we did some good things. We had that lead right before the half, and again we gave it up. Right before on another big ball. We had a pick six in the second half, and another turnover that resulted in a field goal. That's 10 points right there. And so we definitely had our opportunities today, but we just did not play well enough consistently on defense. Throughout the course of the game, and offensively, we put up a bunch of points, but in the way we're playing on defense right now, we've got to score a lot to win these games, and we just didn't. Fell a little short tonight.
Let's start diving into this one a little bit closer, beginning with the first half highlights, where the Rebels were right there in the first 30 minutes.
There ain't nothing easy about having success. You gotta be tough enough. You gotta be tough enough to execute at a high level consistently.
You gotta finish with your feet today, guys. They don't touch our cue. Finish!
Go out there, have fun. Have no damn fear. No damn fear of failure. Only effort to achieve success. You hear me, guys?
A perfect day for football in the Bay Area, but both teams got off to a sluggish start. After a couple of 3-and-outs on both sides, San Jose State had the ball. Quarterback Josh Love back to pass. It's deflected right into the arms of Dalton Baker, who runs it back to the San Jose 47. The Rebel offense went to work. Max Gillum with the quick hitter to Makai Stevenson for 12. Then Evan Owens runs for 14 more to the Spartan 22. Gillum rolls right and connects with Darren Woods to set up a 1st and goal, and QB1 did the rest. The fake handoff, and he keeps it himself for the touchdown. UNLV had a 7-0 lead.
Rebels! Rebels!
San Jose answered right away. Love downfield to Ty Cottrell all the way down to the 4. On the next play, Tyler Nevins pounds it in, and we were all tied up at 7. UNLV had a 4th and 1 at the San Jose 40, but Lexington Thomas is stuffed for a loss, and the Spartans had the ball back in good field position. They took advantage. Off play action, tight end Josh Oliver all alone in the end zone for the score. San Jose was on top 14-7. Midway through the second quarter, Gillum picked off by Dakari Monroe. That led to a Spartan field goal, and the lead was up to 17-7. On the Rebels' first play from scrimmage on the next possession, Gillum goes deep downfield to Tylee Collins, and he is off to the land of 6. The Rebels were within 3 at 17-14. Late in the half, the Rebels put a drive together. Brandon Presley with the 18-yard reception. On 3rd and 7, Gillum to Thomas, who turns the corner for 14 more. Then the big play for 40 yards to Presley, setting up a 1st and goal at the 5. On 3rd down, Gillum with the shovel to Collins, who gets around the edge, and he's in for the touchdown. UNLV had a 21-17 lead with 1:36 left in the half. But the defense let San Jose keep the drive going, and Love went for it all to Trey Walker for the score. UNLV went into the locker room at halftime, down 24-21. So we get to halftime, and at this point, the offense doing a lot of things really well. They've got you guys right in the game.
Yeah, no doubt. It was tough sledding and running the ball again. They did a really good job of, kind of stacking that box. So, as the first half progressed, we started taking more shots down the field, found Tylee, made some nice plays. Brandon Presley made some nice plays, and the offense was clicking. I mean, we knew that we'd be able to move the ball and score some points in this contest.
I think the crucial part of the whole game swung after you took the lead with that touchdown late in the first half. and then they go down and get the score, the momentum was lost because you really had things clicking at that point.
Yeah, there's a couple crucial things there. You know, we get them to a 3rd and long, and we know we opt to use the timeout because we want to go ahead and try and score. You know, we've got 2 timeouts left after that, and a little over a minute left on the clock, so we felt we had a chance to go score. And and then they end up converting it. But then the play after, they end up throwing the ball out. Bailey's got the guy in space, and you got to bring him down. If you bring him down, that clock's going to bleed out. And instead the guy broke out of the tackle, got out of bounds, and they were able to take one more shot. So it's unfortunate. We just gotta we got to execute a little bit better, and but we're going to keep being aggressive and doing those things.
San Jose did a good job against the run, but I thought the offense and Gillum with those short passes, and then took your shots downfield this week that paid off with Tyreek Collins as well.
It did. I think looking at the stat box right when we got done, I think Tyreek had 170 yards, so that's an incredible game for a receiver, and I think we ended up having 540 some odd yards offense. So we definitely chewed up a lot of real estate tonight. Put some points on the board, obviously not enough. But we did give up one of those scores that, it was the offense throwing a pick six.
Well, let's go into that second half right now, where the Rebels dug a little bit of a hole right out of the gate, and then we're playing catch up the rest of the way. San Jose State had the ball to start the second half and quickly worked down the field. On 3rd and 14, Love finds Oliver over the middle for 17. Then Love to Walker for 34 more down to the 1. On 3rd and goal, Love hits Brett Foley for the score, and the Spartan lead was back to 10 at 31-21. The Rebels moved the ball past midfield as Thomas pops outside for 13 yards. But on 4th and 2, Gillum's pass to Darren Woods is incomplete, and San Jose took over at the 41. Love hit Oliver again for 18 to move into the red zone, and then Love connects with Trey Hartley for a touchdown. That extends the lead to 38-21. UNLV would answer. Gillum to Collins, who bobs and weaves his way into the clear, and he rolls 46 yards for the touchdown. That would cut the deficit back to 10. The Rebels tried an onside kick, but San Jose State recovered. That led to a Bryce Crawford field goal, and we headed to the fourth quarter with UNLV down 41-28. The Rebels had 3rd and 11 at their own 42. Gillum back to pass, and Dakari Monroe jumps the route, and he takes it to the house for a 50-yard pick six. The point after was no good, but all of a sudden, it was 47-28. UNLV, though, didn't quit. Evan Pantels nailed a 23-yard field goal. On the kickoff, the Rebs go for a pooch, and Evan Owens is there for the recovery. UNLV was in business at the Spartan 43. But Gillum threw another interception right to John Toussaint. That led to another Spartan field goal. The Rebels did get a late touchdown as Collins finds the end zone once again, but it was too little too late as UNLV falls to San Jose State 50-37.
We got to treat all our opponents the same and act like every game is our biggest game. So we got to act like we got Fresno State next. We got to act like Fresno State's the best team we're going to play all year and just get ready for them.
There's 4 games left and we need 4 games. So we start tomorrow. Everybody's got to go in with a positive attitude. It's not something that can't be done. We can do it. We just really need to believe and huddle inside of ourselves.
So San Jose State gets the ball first, and they go right down and score a touchdown. That's a backbreaker in terms of now you're down 2 scores right out of the gate.
Yeah, it's so important to come out of the locker room and to make plays, and we got them to a number of 3rd down situations, and just weren't able to convert, and we've got to do a better job there. And and then offensively, when you do get back out there, you want to answer that right away. So it took us a minute to answer it, and eventually we did, but we were able to overcome that score.
You've brought up the pick six, and for as well as Gillum did in a lot of areas of the game, he did have some interceptions there that were either bad reads or guys jumping routes. Those are things that you just can't have happen, but it's also something that I would assume is going to come with time, with a quarterback getting time on the field.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, the one pick six is, he's got a deep out route, on the outside, and, that wasn't his first progression, and he came back to it, but by the time he came back to it, that corner was already breaking on the ball, and it's just one of those deals where if you're going to throw that ball, you got to hit and throw right away. It's got to be on time. You can't have any delay there, and obviously we paid a price for it. But Max did some good things. He took some shots. I thought he showed a lot of courage throughout the course of the game, and, delivered some good balls.
Let's talk about the defense, because we all know that there's some problems on the back end. There's been injury problems, but then there's been some guys that have been simply overmatched here in this last stretch of the month. How do you try to stop the bleeding, I guess, at some point as we go through the final 4 games?
Well, personnel-wise is a big deal. Hopefully we can get Jericho back. Khalili went down, early in the game, and Plummer had to come in and play for him. So hopefully we get Khalili healthy. We got to get Jericho back out there. That's a big deal. Greg Francis, at times he made some plays. It was good to see him. Kind of got his feet wet a little bit. So obviously there's some room to grow there. And then, with Perry and Plummer, they just got to play with more confidence back there. And Dalton's giving us everything he has. He's working hard. And, but I felt, we all saw it. We were overmatched out there, and we just continued to not make plays when we needed to. So, it's a tough deal for Skip right now. If you're going to play covers and it's tough to get pressure on them, you dial some things up. You got to be able to play some, some cover 1, and we have to execute that better.
One thing that is a good positive note to pull away is this team has not quit. There was fight in them to the end in every week and every loss here over the last few weeks, and I think that's something you've got to be proud of, that this team's in there fighting for you.
Well, we've been around each other for a long time now, and it's a good core group of guys. They work extremely hard. They believe in each other, and they really fight for each other. So they're not going to quit. I know we've got 4 tough games to go. You got Fresno coming in, next week, and they're playing as good a football as anybody in the Mountain West. But we got 2 choices right now. We can, tuck tail and run, or we can just go back to work, and that's what we're going to do. I don't know any other way to do it. We're just going to go back to work. We're going to continue to message it and talk about the standards we have, and continue to push our kids forward. And I think we got a great group of guys they're going to continue to buy in and keep working hard for this program.
We're going to take our first break right now, but when we come back, we're going to dig into Fresno State, next week's opponent. That's on the backside of the break as the Red Zone rolls on.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, presented by RC Willey. Your home, your way.
The Rebels are back home this Saturday with a 7:30 kickoff at Sam Boyd Stadium against Fresno State. At 7:30 Saturday night at Sam Boyd Stadium, Fresno State will roll in looking for a little revenge. The Rebels have beaten the Bulldogs 2 straight and 3 of the last 4 years. Last season, it was one of the only hiccups for Fresno in a run to the West Division title. The Bulldogs' success last year and the hot start this year have raised the expectation level in the Valley, which head coach Jeff Tedford has had to keep in check.
Expectation and with social media and everybody patting the guys on the back and all that kind of thing, we need to make sure we keep a chip on our shoulder, and it would be naive to think that we can just tell them, hey, don't listen to it, because it's going to happen. So we need to talk about it, we need to address it, and we need to hold true to our standards and stay and trust the process and stay true to the process as well.
This is year 2 under Tedford, and the Bulldogs have settled in with the system and the way things are done in a complete culture shift within the program.
Completely different. He's kind of instilled in us kind of not going out to hope to win, but kind of expect to win because of your preparation and what you've done to prepare yourself. So I think that's kind of the biggest thing. He's a firm believer in what you do early in the week and throughout, taking care of the little details, and the big things will take care of themselves.
Quarterback Marcus McMarion is a playmaker who keeps defenses honest. Fresno has the ability to put a lot of points on the board. The offensive firepower has overshadowed a defense that is stout, number 1 in the Mountain West in nearly every statistical category, and amongst the tops in the nation in yards per play allowed at just over 4. Putting points on the board will not be easy. UNLV will have to win the field position battle and take advantage of red zone chances if they want to stay in this one. All right, when you start looking at tape of Fresno State, this is a very good football team on both sides of the ball. But while the offense gets a lot of publicity, their defense is amongst the best, not only in the Mountain West, but in the country.
Yeah, no, they've done a really, really good job there of just, playing really good, solid, fundamental defense. And, and offensively, their QB is a special guy. He does a really good job of managing that stuff. So, there's a reason they have the record they do. I know tonight they're playing right now. I think they have Hawaii at home right now, so I'm not sure what's going on with that game. But I know going into tonight they're 6-1, and the one game they lost was the Minnesota game they could have won. So they're a good football team. They've been hot for a while now. So we definitely got a tough challenge in front of us, but our guys will be ready to go.
On the offensive side of the ball, McMarion is one of those quarterbacks that can do damage a lot of different ways. And in the second year under Jeff Tedford, they're adding some more wrinkles into their offense that makes studying this week on film going to be big.
Yeah, because, you know, again, he is a throw-first guy, but he is a dual-threat guy. He does a really good job of picking up some needed third downs and some hard yards with his legs, so you have to watch for that. But he's got a live arm, and he knows where to put the ball, and he doesn't make many mistakes with it.
All right, Coach, we're going to take another break. When we come back, we're sitting down with Running Rebels head coach Marvin Menzies to talk about the basketball season, which gets going this Friday night. Stay with us.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, presented by RC Willie. Your home, your way.
Welcome back inside the RebZone. We're joined now by Running Rebels head coach Marvin Menzies as we get ready to start the basketball season finally. It seems like that off season was too long. We're ready to get rolling again.
Seemed too short to me. I don't know. No, it's been a really, really productive off season on a lot of different fronts. I'm excited about the young men that said yes to the program and the off season, and then also excited about the staff chemistry right now. The administration seems to be here for a good year now, getting their perspective on how to navigate within the community, the university.
You had said all along that, you know, for your system to go in, it was going to take a couple years to start getting recruits in, but the importance was to get some stability and some guys that would stay 3 and 4 years in the program.
Right.
The first year, throwing the first year away because of how late you came in, we now have guys that came here in your second year that are now sophomores and some new guys coming in with this latest class.
Right.
That we're going to start seeing some of that stability and leadership.
Yeah. I think, you know, we've got 7 guys on the team that have had a chance to walk on the floor and seen some minutes in the Thomas and Mack. So I think that's the highest returning number in the last 7 years or so. So that's a start, right? But I think that the young kids that we brought in as well, well, let me back up. I think I heard a lot from the community that they wanted consistency. Not just winning consistency, but they wanted to get to know the players. They wanted to have relationships with these guys and see them develop and grow into the winners that they want them, you know, to be. And I feel like we've put a stranglehold on that first group. They're here, they're locked in, and they're ready to roll. I think we'll see some fruits of our labor this year.
How much of an emphasis on ramping things up defensively are you putting now that you're getting more athletes on the floor?
You know, it's a good question because that was one of our pet peeves last year. I mean, we were a very bad defensive team. And typically, you know, I've had really, really good defensive teams. So that was an area where the staff met on and we looked at from a recruiting aspect, but also from a strategy of how we want to play in this conference. I feel like we do have an emphasis on defense and rebounding as well. That's every day. I mean, we're getting into shell drills every day. We're talking about basic mechanics on defensive principles every day. The guys know that, listen, we're horrible defensively. We need to be a better defensive team. How do we do that? Well, we take the time to understand what it is to be a good defensive team.
Let's set the table here for the month of November because you're home the entire month of November. Games at the Thomas and Mack. Important to get fans out and start to create that buzz, get the environment back at the MAC the way that we've seen it in the past.
You know, I think it's like anything, you got to have a plan, right? And then you got to go work your plan. So I think strategically, the first thing we've got to do is provide the community with the right pieces. And I think we have the right piece. I know we have the right pieces in place. Now we've got to go out and show them the production. We've gotten the GPA up. We've gotten the community service hours up. We've done all the right things from an internal standpoint. Okay, now we've got to do it on the court. And we've got to go fight in games. We've got to go finish games. We've got to be good in winning time. We've got to show that we're making progress. That's all it really comes back down to. If the fans, and this is a very basketball savvy community, if they see the future on the floor right now and they see production in that future, they're going to come back in droves. There's no other city like Las Vegas when it comes to supporting a winning Rebel team.
Coach, best of luck. We look forward to the season upcoming. We're going to be back to wrap up the Red Zone with Tony Sanchez right after this.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, presented by RC Willie. Your home, your way.
Rejoined now by head coach Tony Sanchez. 4 games to go here in November. This is an extremely tough stretch. We talked about even before the season that this was going to be a tough 4-game stretch. What are you looking for out of your guys this Saturday night?
Well, you know, I mean, we've got to execute at a higher level. You know, offensively, I'd like to see ourselves be a little bit more consistent. You know, at times we were really explosive. I mean, we put up a bunch of points tonight, but there were times too where we kind of sputtered. We had 2 opportunities on 4th down that we didn't pick up. We picked up some, but earlier in the game, when the game was a little closer, you know, we've got to be a little bit more physical at the point of attack and pick those things up. And then defensively, we just got to get some stops put together. You know, I mean, you know, create some turnovers, but we got to get some stops. I mean, if we're going to have a chance to win these, you know, games going down the stretch, which is going to be tough to do, but we can do it. We're going to have our defense step up and play at a higher level.
That's a 7:30 kickoff at Sam Boyd. We hope to see you out there. We'll be back here next Sunday night to break it down in the Red Zone. Thanks for joining us for this one from San Jose. For Coach Sanchez, I'm Kevin Bollinger. We leave you with the UNLV football plays of the week. Good night.
Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show was presented by RC Willie. Your home, your way.